It's the Blairing Out with Eric Blair show tonight at the Newport Beach Film Festival's 20th anniversary after party at Fashion Island with founding member of the band Orgy and current singer, songwriter, and guitarist of Julien-K, Brian Shuck.
Brother, so good to see you again, man.
Yeah.
Been too long.
You know, I have archives.
Yeah.
And I transferred the beta tapes. I think it must have been 1998 or 99. I got an interview with you.
Right in the beginning. Yeah. Good
And
times.
All the people that were there were all the rock stars of the day.
Yeah.
You.
Yeah.
Lit was there.
Yeah.
The Sugar Ray guys were there.
Yeah. Korn.
How have you dealt with the passing of time? It's hard on everybody.
I think for me, it's actually gotten really, really cool because I'm at this point now where, in Julien-K, we're just embracing all of the work that we've done over so many years, up to and including even, my work with Korn early on with Blind and Daddy, in all the stuff that we've done in Orgy, Dead by Sunrise that we did with Chester Bennington. In a live Julien-K show now, we play our material and all of that stuff. And it's part of us. It's like we're sort of, we haven't, it's been 20 years of this career, and we're able to just own it all and pull it off, and the fans love it. And I don't know, it's actually pretty cool right now. And we're in a unique space right now where one of the biggest crowdfunding bands in the world. Every campaign we do is #1 in the world for the entire duration of the campaign. Our last campaign for our new album, Harmonic Disruptor, was #1. We raised $20,000 in 1 hour, and we still had 30 days to go. So, I mean, you can imagine it's been incredible, and that's direct with our fans. So there's no label involved, there's no anything involved, it's just us. So it's a lot of time's passed, but it's been pretty cool. And I just spent the weekend with Jonathan Davis in Bakersfield, and I just toured with him. So I don't know, things are coming around full circle, and I'm as fit as I was when I was 20. I mean, it's fine. I'm stoked.
Tell me about the touring cycle for Julien-K.
We basically last year probably put in around 90 dates just in the fourth quarter and the third quarter. We did Europe, we did the USA twice, we did Bush, Stone Temple Pilots, The Cult, Jonathan Davis, Birthday Massacre, headlined in Italy and London. Did our own, headlined our own tour, and it's been good. The year before we did one American tour, and we're just kind of putting it together for the first time as an independent band, because we don't have anyone sitting there going like, okay, now you got to go on tour. Okay, you did your album, now you have to do this. We're kind of sitting here going like, okay, we have the album, we crowdfunded all the money, now what do our fans want? And it's a little bit of a different thing, and we're in contact with our fans. So I predict that we're going to be touring quite a bit because it's working.
Who do you think a Julien-K fan is?
Oh, easily everyone who likes Orgy, everyone who discovered Julien-K with our early touring with Linkin Park, Project Revolution. So everyone that likes My Chemical Romance, Linkin Park, Mindless Self-Indulgence, Him, Placebo, Korn. All these fans kind of come together to make what would be the Julien-K fan base, because we've toured with all those bands. But the couple million kids that bought the Orgy albums, of course, that's going to be a core fan base. But those fans like all sorts of music. We toured with Sugar Ray. What an unlikely pairing, but it worked.
Now, how does the songwriting come together?
It depends. I'm basically I'm the lyricist, singer-songwriter guy. Amir and I definitely split songwriting about 50-50. Amir is my partner in Orgy, one of the original members and founding members of Orgy.
Amir DeRoo,
Yep.
He was also in Rough Cut,
Yep.
managed by Wendy Dio.
Yes. Huge, long career.
Yeah.
Won a Grammy for engineering the Eels album. He's just an awesome dude. So, and he's also my neighbor. We bought houses in the same neighborhood.
Nice.
But we have dueling recording studios and everything. Basically, I write like a guy that would write with a guitar. I can write a song and sing it. And I can also think in my mind of all the other parts, and then we program it and we do the whole thing. Amir writes like a scientist. he'll come up with 1 or 2 song ideas that'll be almost completely finished with no vocals. And if I hear one, I go, oh, and and then I put lyrics on it immediately, and then that's kind of the way it works. In Dead by Sunrise, it's basically Julien-K with Chester Bennington singing. And so we would purposely take his song ideas, his seeds, and then he would just go home sometimes. And then we would extrapolate this whole thing around it, and he would come back in the next day, and he would have the cutest reaction. He would listen to it, and he would get yes! And we'd be looking, and then he'd be done, and he would go. He'd run back in the room, he's all, play it again! And we knew we had a viable song with him because he had that excitement level and everything. So that was kind of the way it worked with him, because Dead by Sunrise is basically kind of Orgy and Julien-K with Chester singing, So this is a rad thing.
But you're here with his son. That's nice. You okay?
Amazing. Yeah. Okay, it's amazing. Yeah. I feel like I got a gift. This beautiful family that we all love, and they're amazing. And it can be hard, but I mean, this is my little brother.
Yeah.
So it's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome.
You seem really blessed, man. Yeah, you seem like you have a lot of joy. Where does your joy come from?
I mean, don't let it fool you. I'm just as dark as as any lead singer when they're alone. You know what I mean? So, but at the same time, of course, all of us have this kind of joyful, playful, charming edge that we use to kind of do what we do. But there's darkness. There's darkness. Trust me.
Does that help with the songwriting?
Unfortunately. Yeah.
So when does the darkness? When do you shut that off, and when do you just let Ryan be happy?
I'm not a super happy person just being me. I mean, I can do it all for the interviews and do the performance and all that kind of stuff, but I'm not really okay all the time. So it's not always a pretty thing. I can tell you that. I mean, but it's no different than most artists like me are like me. So it's a battle. The darkness often creates the art. So doesn't mean it's all bad, but there's darkness. You don't write the songs that we write without some demons.
How does that work in a relationship?
It's hard. Yeah, we're nightmares. It's tough. Yeah, but we can also be charming.
So tell me about the new Julien-K album. Tell me about some of the songs, the subject matter.
There's a huge chunk of this album where I'm dealing with the death of Chester. Harmonic Disruptor was going to be us breaking the mold of what we have been doing, which is this kind of heavier progression of Orgy, Depeche Mode, kind of, a lot more dancey, kind of more indie and modern. And we literally when we did, sonically turn back around and go back to our roots in Orgy, Nine Inch Nails, Ministry, the 90s. And we wanted that feeling of that record that you got when you opened up Candy Ass and you put it in, and that first note, we want that feeling. So we got back all of our old equipment out and started making music with all of that original gear and all the 7 strings and the baritones and the synths and all that kind of stuff. And then what happened with Chester happened, and the theme of the album turned drastically, and Harmonic Disruptor kind of became that massive, the universe broke. And so I had to put that somewhere so I could be nice, so I could do interviews and handle it and not go crazy. And I put it into the album, and there's some there's some heavy and hard songs. It became a brutal Nine Inch Nails, broken feeling, Orgy, Candy Ass album with some extremely intense lyrics and intense singing. And I just got the first single back today, actually, in my phone. I've been listening to it. It's called Shut Down Your Soul, and it's an obvious, the meaning is a little, there's anger, and I put my anger in the music, so I don't put it on other people. You know what I mean? So I don't try not to treat my girlfriend mean or give my dog hugs and give my friends love, but I do scream in the music. I let that pissed offness and the disbelief and the anger come out. It's still a part of me, even though I understand and you live with it, you know what I mean? But I think it's going to be an intense album. I think our fans are going to love it. Anyone who likes Orgy, Candy Ass, or like Nine Inch Nails in their early years, and Marilyn Manson in the first early years, or Ministry even, they're going to fucking love this. They're going to love it.
Tell me why Orgy didn't work. It did. It worked for a while. Drugs, total dysfunctionality. I mean, we were Motley Crue of the year 2003, 2004, 2005. You know, it was like just a mess. You know, just didn't stop. It just kind of failed working. And Amir and I just kept making music, and that became Julien-K. We didn't really mean to start another band. And then when Chester heard what we were doing, he became super involved with Julien-K, and then Dead by Sunrise sprung out of that. We thought we were still doing Orgy. In our heads, we were just doing some other music because we thought we'd just do Orgy again, because why not? It's a huge band, and it just never happened. No, you know, we couldn't get everyone together, and so Amir and I finally got offered record deals, and we went on tour with Linkin Park, and things just kind of started working, and here we are. You got to be part of the MTV generation.
Yeah.
What was that like? What do you remember from that?
I'll tell you exactly what it was like. We went to MTV and we did a day of press. And what I've learned is that there was kind of a test. They want to see kind of how it works, how we are, because the songs were good, our videos were good. They were MTV videos. We kind of knew what we were doing, and they wanted to see if we could kind of pull the whole package off. And so we went there and we did a whole day of press. And afterwards, we went up to the top of the building, and there was like this kind of dim room with all these like pillows on the floor, and everyone's sitting around like a boardroom. It was like very hippie-esque, but it was like the executives and stuff. And our video, the head of video for Warner, our good friend Wendy, came out and she was like, "I've got great news." She's like, "You guys," she was super excited, and we were like, "What?" She's like, "You guys are going to be a buzz clip," and I was like, "Cool. What does that even mean?" She's like, "It means you're gonna get played 4 times a day, every day." And I go, "That's awesome. What does that mean?" And she's like, "You wait." So we literally, I mean, MTV catapulted us from, you know, radio was catching on a little bit, but once the image got out and the whole thing we were doing in the face of grunge and in the face of, you know, everyone looking like Korn, you know, because Korn had such a thing, right? And we came out with lipstick and eyeliner and dressing like, you know, techno ninja vampires, and it worked, and then every video we put out since, you know, the whole band became like a visual audio kind of thing, and it really worked. We went from 5,000 records a week to 80,000 records a week, being right behind NSYNC on Billboard, you know, top 20. I think we were like 13. It's insane for a year. So it was marked the difference. It was incredible.
What does that do to somebody's brain?
I don't know. You kind of don't, you know, just all of a sudden you just get recognized walking down the street. You get recognized in a dark movie theater. We show up to do MTV the next time, and all of Times Square is filled with people with things up, and I didn't even understand what was happening. I was just like, whoa, you know. It wasn't like we got all, oh, we're badass and all this kind of stuff. We were very much, at least me, I was the youngest in the band. I was very much a kid, kind of going like, wow, this really affected people. They really like our music. You know, we would do signings, and it would last for hours and hours and hours, and have to cut the line off. You know, and that was, to me, I was just like, they're endless. We have endless fans. It's insanity. So there's a lot of wonder, you know. I think it's not till now that I kind of go back and go, wow, you know, we dented the world a little bit.
Was there ever a time when you felt that authority started to seep in, where people were starting to tell you, you know what, maybe you guys should do this, or maybe you should do that?
No, because the band started disintegrating around the second album, so it just we became so unwieldy. People were just trying to keep the thing together, you know, and you had a good chunk of us who knew that we accomplished something, and knew that it was precious, and knew that we needed to, like, you got to stay on the ball and keep putting out music and be on it, and then another, you know, part of the band kind of not just MIA, you know. So no, we became too unwieldy too quickly, and everything we tried worked for a long time, you know, for a couple of years. We just, whatever weird thing we did worked, so they kind of let us do what we wanted to do. Orgy was pretty pure. until it just kind of started falling apart, which was tragic,
What were what do you think were two of your standout highlights from your time with Orgy?
I think probably the first time we played a venue in Boston that was, I think at the time, was the biggest outdoor venue, and it was sold out. And I could see a giant TV a mile away from me. It was 80,000 people, and I could see myself as big as playing, and it was delayed though. And I think that was probably that kind of moment where you're going whoa. And it was like that level every day. You're just like, it just didn't end. It was insane.
But you were able to keep your sanity because you're still here today.
Yeah.
And you're thriving.
Yeah, I'm trying. Yeah, trying.
You are.
Yeah.
All the things you told me about the #1 crowdfunding.
Yeah.
I mean, who can say that?
Yeah, no, it's I actually write an article for Control Magazine about indie music business and how we're doing what we're doing right now, because we're doing what we're doing independent of anyone. There's no label, there's no, I mean, we have someone that co-manages with me, and up until recently we didn't even have a booking agent, so no press, no anything. We just do it all ourselves. So it's a weird thing.
When can people see you live?
This summer. But in the meantime, we're going to finish the album because the album got derailed because we had such a successful year last year touring. We just kind of kept going. We were just kind of going, whoa, this is working. And so this year we decided we stay home until it's done. So we're just now getting back the first mixes, so it's happening. Our fans are waiting for it.
What was the charm of Chester Bennington for you?
He was his talent level was on fleek. He was sickeningly talented. He was charming and sweet as hell, and he was extremely vulnerable. So you have this talent and work ethic and can do it on a level that's here. And then you have this incredibly charming, cute guy, cute as in you want to pinch his cheek. And then you have this extreme fragility, and you put that together and you make a very fragile person, insanely talented, tortured, but someone that you can't help but fall in love with. And that's Chester. I mean, that's it. That's it.
What are some standout moments where you guys really bonded?
Oh God, too many. Too many. I mean, he lived with me for quite a while. Lived at my house. He went through his divorce. He just moved into my house. So, there's a lot there. I would say when we were doing the Best Man activities the night before his wedding, it was a huge party at the top of this building. He told me that it was fine if we partied all night long, and I was like, okay. So we partied all night long, and somehow we ended up in the top of a building in downtown LA with a helicopter flying around and everyone partying, and we were playing Depeche Mode as loud, like Violator, as loud as it could be. And we were face to face for the entire album, and I was singing Dave Gahan's parts and he was singing Martin Gore's parts. This close to each other's face, with our eyes open, barely blinking, the entire album. And everyone there was just kind of like, okay, whoa, but what the fuck are you guys doing? Because we can all sing it really good. And that was a big moment. That was a really, we both love it so much that we just did something so hard together. I wouldn't even do that, that's a little kid thing to do. Yeah. But that's it,
Was there any moments where you guys were backstage and you were both enjoying success at the same time, where you're like, hey, look, we made it?
Yeah. And there was more times when one of us was eating shit. I mean, I went through a horrible breakup that kind of ruined my life, and so did he. And right around when Dead by Sunrise was happening, and he'd just become sober, so he kind of had it together a lot more, and I was a mess. And I would literally be crying on the side of the stage before a show, and he would put his arm around me and we would talk a little bit, and he'd go, well, you got to go out there, and he'd push me out. Just push me out. And that I think of that every time I get on stage. I thought about that after he passed, and that's what allowed me to go on stage. I pictured him pushing me out because I was crying constantly, and then I just pictured him pushing me out there, you got to do it. We've got to do this interview. You've got to do this, and then we can sit down and we can deal with and so same with him, when he was going through his, deep, shit when alcohol and drugs were really not working anymore, it was the reverse, me and my ex were with him and Celinda, and we went to rehab and did the whole thing, and it took a couple times, but things got a lot better for a long time, but it's a rocky road.
Well, I was going to say, why are drugs and alcohol, why is that such a big lubricator in the entertainment industry?
Oh man, I mean, it's, obviously a lot of us are just fucked up kids, you know what I mean? We're just fucked up adults, it's definitely a party atmosphere, and a lot of us use the party to obscure the fact that we're insecure. A lot of the songs come from insecurity, and how do you get up there and sing and do this whole thing if you're not a little liquored?
How have you survived the music business?
That's a great question. I don't know, because I could easily have been one of many tragedies. There's been a lot around us. I don't know why. I definitely am an alcoholic, but I'm probably the best behaved alcoholic ever. And even though I have a history of using drugs and stuff, I don't know why I always was ready for the party to end. Even though I could do the party, I was always like, I can't wait to feel normal again. So there's something in me that wants to not be fucked up all the time. There's something in me that doesn't want to be on drugs. There's something in me that even if I will do it on occasion or have done it to excess, the minute I would do it, I'd go, okay, we're going here. And then I just didn't, I was like, but I can't wait till I had this out of my system, so I don't know, here I am.
Ryan.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
No problem, man. Yeah, you too.
The Blairing Out Show.